Good evening. Welcome all back to the Mancunian way. I hope you're all good. Thought we'd come and do a nice little phone-in show. Now, I thought this phone-in show was going to be on transfers and the summer. Yeah, what do I know? Morning, Pat.
Hello, Martin. Yes, safe to say, how long has it been since we've been on? 4 days is a long time in football. And you don't even have to kick a ball sometimes.
Well, the annoying thing was I got wind of this very late last night. I got wind of it at 12:30. This is the message I got at 12:30 last night. I got a gift sent to me of, the guy who does The Office in America. You know, the one he goes, it's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got that saying, no. Then I got big news coming out within the next few days. That was at 12:41 last night. Then I got another gift saying, it is big news. Then I got another gift saying, I said, is it bad? And he went, for them, it was like, bad for them because they can't speak on it because of the job that they do. And I was like, okay then. He said, but I don't know how you want to look upon it. And then at the same time, it all came out. That was literally at 2:15 in the morning. We were texting about this on WhatsApp. Yeah, it's at 2:16 a.m. I was trying to play guessing games on what this news was going to be. That was coming out, and I thought it was the KDB news. I'm like, nope, not that either. No. Is it the Alvarez news? Nope, not that either. Yeah, so yeah. Here we go. City have decided they're fighting back with a 165-page legal case document, which will begin all on Monday. One thing I want to reiterate, we are going to open the lines. I just want to go through it all with everyone, and then we'll go through it. So, because I'm not legally trained, never claimed to be. All I've ever done is research, proper research. I've clearly had no proper time to go into this, so I've had no time
to get full details. I'm sure Nobbins will be doing a show at some point.
No, Nobbins is away at the moment. Don't worry, I was already one step ahead on that one. But what I'll do is I will give you the brief outline of it. So, right, hang on, where's that gone? Why has it kicked me onto this? That wasn't what it was. Right. So City launched legal action against the Premier League over sponsorship rules. So one thing we need to make clear is nothing to do with the 115. Could it have an effect on the 115 going forward? Maybe, but that is just rumour and innuendo at the moment. So Manchester City have launched a full legal assault against the Premier League with the 4-in-a-row champions challenge everything from sponsorship rules to the means by which decisions are taken by the competition. I will add, by the way, I'm going to start using the word allegedly and things like this because the Times, naughty boys in some of their wording. A case has been brought by City against the league, and according to the Times, an independent tribunal has been convened for next week to hear it. The tribunal is set to last for 2 weeks and comes as both sides preparing for November long-awaited hearing on City's 115 alleged rule breaking related to, like I said, they use the word allegedly. Manchester City have launched a full legal assault against the Premier League. City's legal challenges centres on associated party transactions, known as APT rules, in which clubs strike sponsorship or revenue deals with businesses linked to their owners, have been subject of scrutiny from the league for some time. In February, the clubs voted to approve tougher rules regarding how such deals are valued. A requirement to assess fair market value for APTs has been challenged by City, who have argued it contravenes competition law. The clubs are understanding to be asking for financial damages from the league for perceived losses from sponsorship deals that were halted by the rules. They argue that the league has not been able to prove that clubs get an unfair advantage from APTs and that it's previously failed to act with the same urgency to control big spending by dominant sides. In another claim forming part of the lawsuit, City are claiming taking aim at the league's voting rules, the requirement that 14 of the 20 clubs must vote in favour of any proposal in order for it to be adopted, has long been hailed as one of the competition's strengths, meaning that clubs must align behind any change before it is implemented, because it is a private members club. According to the Times, however, City Suit claims that the voting system preserves the tyranny of the majority. Strong words. According to its report, 10 and 12 top flight clubs have responded to a legal request for submissions in support of its rules. One club is meanwhile reported to have provided testimony in support of 6 claims, which many people are guessing at the moment is Newcastle United, which was taken over by Saudi Arabia's Sovereign Wealth Fund, PIF, in 2021, and has previously occasioned hurried attempts to clubs to change those rules to stop Newcastle. City's legal claim was filed in February, with the Premier League informing its clubs of the matter in March. It will be seen as a steep increase in hostilities between City and the competition, in which they've won 6 of the past 7, and puts further strain on the Premier League, which has been attempting to deal with multiple governance issues, from improving financial regulations to the government's plan for an independent regulator. The Premier League did not comment. Now, there is within this 165-page document, there is allegations of basically xenophobia / racism, saying that because they are a Gulf-funded state, that this is why, part of the reason why they're getting this. And they've talked about the Cartel.
I was reading a little bit.
I'll get some comments up, and then I'll get the link in the next 5 minutes. So we open the lines. What do you think?
I just wanted to add the three sort of standout claims that Manchester City have made in relation to this, and it's basically that the APT, what was it again, Associated Party Transaction rules targets teams that have ownership ties to the Gulf region. The APT rules also unfairly penalises teams that have multi-party ownership. And is Nielsen Analytics, a data company that the Premier League holds on retainer for assessing the fair market value of sponsorship deals, it has acted unfairly in their FMV assessments, fair market value assessments.
Yeah. So what do you think about all that?
Well, if City hadn't been showing their teeth for the last, say 12 months, and I think a little bit in the background, a little bit in the shadows, they're certainly they've come forward now and expressed exactly how they feel about the way the Premier League's been treating them for the best part of 15 years, and I think it's long overdue in a way. But sometimes the most vengeful are the most patient as well. So fair play. They've obviously seen something that they feel that they can have a go at the Premier League for, because again, we've said it before, in all these months, regards to 115, like. We don't want to take these guys to the cleaners or to the courts, because at the end of the day we have to do business with them on a day-to-day basis. But obviously we've seen something that is the City have seen something that is really standing out to them, that has gone beyond anything that is just speculation or anything like any rumors or anything like that too. So again, just like Chairman Caldoon said, it's like he gave all of us his word about saying that he believes we're going to be innocent on the 115, in the same way that I believe that if they're going to go ahead and do this, then there obviously must be some sort of substance to it. They must feel that they have a very, very strong case.
Yeah, I mean, people are guessing here about Newcastle. I think the club's Newcastle. Jordy Toombal said it's all Newcastle, trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Many are saying that City are fine back because things are not looking good. I disagree with that, and I'll tell you why in a bit. I'm just giving my opinion. I think this has come because I think they know they're okay. Having read through the Times, I was surprised that City have taken the case against the Premier League. City's case is pretty weak. Well, the problem is, Pardo, they're looking at it from a legal standpoint, and within legal law, English business law, the Premier League can't actually do some of what they've suggested to do. This is why it's voted in. This is where City's case, they did this with Cass. It's not City only look at it from a law perspective. And what they're saying is, within business law, what you're saying you can't do. An owner is allowed to put whatever they want into a business. The Premier League is saying no, no, no. Hence, if you all remember when Walmart took over Asda in the UK, for example, yes, there was a lot of kick up and rush about it, but there was nothing they could ever do. That's what I mean. It comes under anti-competitive law, and that's what City have always said. And it's got to be careful. I don't think City will win on one or two things, but I don't like the xenophobia and the racism. I don't think they'll win on that because that's not factual and that's hard to prove. What City's lawyers or Lord Tom Panic will look at is the legal terminology of it, the legal part of it. So Jordan Toombal's I've always said we're not part of this cartel. I know a lot of Newcastle fans think we are. It's not about, we've never wanted to be part of the cartel. We don't want to be part of the cartel. We want to break up this cartel. 4 in a row, exactly. And listen, also, by the way, if you want to come on and talk about Kevin De Bruyne being open to a Saudi move, want to talk about, by the way, Atletico Madrid are 100% interested in Julian Alvarez. That is about that, they want him. So we'll see. That's what they're saying next drift, XD. They're saying this rule of voting is not business law. City are going down the business, they're going down the UK law issue. They're not going down. But the trouble is, the Premier League will say, you signed up to our rules at the start of the season. You know our rules. You agreed to them. So I don't know. I don't know where this is even going to land. I'm loving that we're boiling the piss. One thing I will say, it has nothing to do with 115. Let's get this straight out the chute. It has nothing to do with 115. That is a whole separate issue. It's been on 3 hours Twitter space. Yeah, I did do a Twitter space for 4 hours earlier on. If you win the case, you don't need the other 14. It means they've broken anti-competitive law. Exactly. But the trouble is, the Premier League are going to argue you signed up for our rules. So does you? I don't know. This is. I'm not a lawyer. This is where it becomes hard. Right. Hi, Martin. Pat. Hello to everyone in the chat. Hello, Mark. Martin got window there. Stephanie Quinn's with us. Hello, Matthew Leonard. How are you? Caribbean Legends with us. Alec Johnson, the legend, is with us. How are you, mate? Have you heard Edison has handed it? No. No, he hasn't. Ed's with us. I'm jumping through as many comments as I can before I open the lines. All right, all your brothers. I knew we get a lot of Newcastle fans in tonight. Proud of the club fighting back. It had to happen, although it's becoming a bit exhausting. It is. Supporting Manchester City now, you've now got to learn legal terminology and legal everything. It's not about football anymore, which is the most annoying factor here. We don't talk about football. We've now all got to be legally bleeding trained, which is something I never signed up for to become a City fan. I don't think any of you did. One thing I will ask before, and by the way, I promise you, in the next 5 minutes, we'll open the lines. Could this eventually lead to a Super League? Are City in danger of burning bridges? Or where they basically shitting where the old phrase of you don't shit on your own doorstep.
Or shit where you eat.
Mm-hmm.
There's every possibility of it. If the Premier League aren't willing to take a bit more of a pragmatic approach and not stick to sort of established clubs based dogma with the Premier League, then any other clubs that come in with new ambitious owners and that would probably look at that and say, why would we bother continue going down this road when it's the rules, the same regulations that may favour some clubs more than others, regardless of finances. It's more about status because of the length of time you bring the Premier League. I'm just using an example here. So if that's going to be the case, then yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if other clubs start looking at the other option of saying, like, well, let's just go and start doing our own league.
Yeah, I think
the problem is the Premier League needs to move with the times, in the same way that I think even the established clubs, like not just your red cartel, but teams who have been involved in the Premier League for a long, long time, and even still have a certain amount of pulling power, even before the Premier League days started, 30 years ago. I just think sooner or later they're just going to have a bit more of a pragmatic sort of approach, look a bit more forward, look a bit more towards. I don't know if it's about making it a level playing field, but basically, allowing clubs to be ambitious and try and be successful in any way that they can, as long as it's within a certain amount of rules. Because as you said before, Martin, you don't want the Wild West out there. But at the same time, you can't keep putting a financial ball and chain on every single club, and then just because one has a certain status in the league more than others, then that ball and chain is going to be heavier on the legs than it is for somebody else.
Yeah, at least we all know, by the way, the Calhoun interview's been delayed because that wasn't going to come out while this is.
That's going to have some sauce and salt and spice. And
no, because nothing's official's come out from the club.
No.
So could the Times be in a bit of trouble there?
Don't know.
I don't know. Right, I'm just going to jump down. There's loads of comments, and I appreciate you. You've all been absolute superstars. I will get through them all. Good evening, David. Matt, I'm sure Steve will obtain his case without some hope of winning it. We basically have nothing to lose. Everyone, exactly. Is it a case of winning it, or is it a case of we've nothing to lose now?
I just think it's we wouldn't do it unless we had something that our lawyers have basically said you can go for this, you can win, and you can probably win this. Otherwise, they would have just like every other issue they've had with the Premier League or with the FA over the last 15 years, just like okay, whatever, and then move on.
See, my thing is, I don't understand what's going Super League. My issue with the Super League is you're still getting into bed with people. Need to realise City are hated not only in England but everywhere. City are not liked anywhere. We're known as cheats in every single quarter of this world. Let's come out of this thing though. It's just England. England, you made it more because we're in their league. But it doesn't matter what. This is my thing. The Premier City, I know what Daps is saying, but let's go with Newcastle and Chelsea, but won't just be them. A Super League won't happen with just us, Newcastle and Chelsea. Because whether we like it or not, United, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham all bring in revenue and numbers as well. They won't do that. So you're still getting into bed with them, and you're still getting into bed with Bayern Munich, who started this whole shebang off. Let's make not this thing up. The Spiel is run by bloody Bayern Munich.
The Spiegel to Bayern Munich is like Marsa to Real Madrid. Yeah.
And I get some people are going to say, don't bite the hand that feeds you. I'm going to look at it from a fan's point of view, because that's what I am. I'm a fan at the end of the day. I don't want to spend my league time traveling around Europe. A, I haven't got the money. B, I can't get a time off work to be here, there, and everywhere. I still want to play in FA Cups and all that. And I understand, and I do think you'll lose a lot of the local fan base if the Super League happened. And I understand we're a worldwide brand, and we're going to be big. I understand all that, and I love fans from abroad. But I don't think a Super League is the way forward.
And just for the record too, like people in the chat might be saying, we agreed to a Super League, back in 2020 or whatever it was.
We were the first.
I think the biggest problem we had with that then at the time was because it was fresh off the Cascades, and when you look at it, there was no other club that signed up for the Premier League signed up for the Super League that was more between a rock and a hard place than what City was, because they're not going to be seen as siding with UEFA after what had just happened with Cas. And at the same time, too, they probably didn't want to go down the route of the Super League because they probably knew what the backlash was going to be with the fans, and they proved it. With us, basically turning around and dropping out of the Super League, the second fastest, I believe, to drop out of the Super League inside basically 24, 48 hours. So it'll be another situation of rock and a hard place. Basically, this time it'll just be the Premier League instead of UEFA. So yeah, that's a very tricky sort of you're tumbling down the rabbit hole a little bit there too, because we're just going to see deja vu all over again. Basically, if we do that, If we don't do it, then we're going to be seen as, why are you taking sides with the Premier League after everything that they put you through? But if we do go through with it, then the fans are just going to be pitchforks and effigies outside the Etihad. Basically.
You can't have a 5-team Super League, mate.
No.
They will want United, Liverpool. This is what I know. We all don't like it, but Liverpool and United have a bigger fan base and world pull, global pull than we do right now. I know you're not going to like that. It's true. They're not going to do a Super League without United, or Liverpool, etc., putting in it as well. So you're not really winning, if you know what I mean. You're not winning.
And just Geordie Turn and the other Newcastle fans, thanks very much for coming on too, because if you look at it from their perspective, this is just important for them as it is for us. Because the second they start knocking on the door of the chance of more trophies, then it's basically going to be rinse and repeat. In 5-10 years' time, they can be in the exact same position we are now.
Yeah, right. What we're going to do is we are going to open the lines. I'm going to put the link in now. I ask you, if you're coming on, please remain respectful. If we get loads of people on, we're going to have to do a timer system, which I don't fully want to do. But we're going to move it over to you now. Please remain respectful. It's your channel. It's pinned at the top. So if you go all the way to the top of the tree, you can come in, have your say.
Just make sure you've got a decent microphone or headphones and
decent microphone,
a good strong connection. A good strong connection too.
You are respectful. We'll do it one at a time. If we end up with a massive build-up, I will have to put a limit on the timer, but I won't do that for the time being. And we have our first one in. AK, how are you, mate? Thank you for joining us again.
Oh, fresh off LB show, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I had to get this off my chest here because
Tell us how you really feel.
I live in Leeds, yeah, and I'm surrounded by a bunch of Red Cartel fans, and I'm sick and tired of them calling my club cheats just because we won the league 4 in a row, and they can't handle that. So I'm just here to say that, you know what? F the Red Cartel, F the league. Let's just go and just join the Super League, fair and square.
But would it be fair and square?
I would say being the one thing that would be fair and square is we can't handle this nonsense on a daily basis. We can't. As City fans, we can't handle this nonsense anymore. The amount of times we just tolerate this nonsense from these kind of fans, it's just getting to a point that, you know what, if you don't want us in the league, you can F off down to Old Trafford. I don't care.
But would it be, here's my issue back, would it not come from Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and everything else? Bayern Munich put a big, massive banner up at the Etihad, telling everyone that that they were a proper club and we were cheats, and that was from Bayern Munich fans.
Yeah, that was from Bayern Munich fans, and I don't see any Real Madrid fans doing that. I mean, other rival fans will do that. They did it on Saturday.
They did it on Saturday, talking about how their club's better than us. That's my thing. I don't think it's just an English hate. I think we're hated across football.
Yeah, we are the most hated club worldwide. That's all we can say.
Yep. And if you're going to use Madrid and Bayern Munich as an example, mate, there too, that's just another example of clubs that have a monopoly in their respective league, just upset and concerned that there's a new big boy at the table now and is basically upsetting the establishment, not just in England but in Europe. And we showed that at CAS, and I'm kind of glad that the club's willing to go down this position, because again, I don't think they'd do it if there wasn't some sort of truth to it. And I just think it's finally a good chance for the club to actually show its teeth, something that it hasn't done for maybe 10, 15 years, and probably a lot of fans have been crying out for years to do, because they're sick of it. And we can only defend ourselves so much, whether we're at home or out with our mates or in the pub or anywhere basically. So for me, it's this is a chance for the club to actually finally get out there and have a go at the other clubs and the Premier League itself. And if we can, we just have to be behind them 100% of the way. And the club's proven if there's something that they're not happy with or something that is really barked them up the wrong tree, then we've got to feel the same way and basically tell other clubs, other fans that it's just like, no, we're sick of your crap. We're gonna move forward, and we're gonna show just how just how serious we are about this, because we've tried to come in and upset the establishment, and they can't handle it, and we just have to sort of roll with it and just give just give them hell basically.
And the other thing you got to remember is this whole saga came from Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, etc. They were the ones who
It came from the UEFA board, which is all full of card-carrying members for those top. What is it? G14.
Yeah.
They were given. All of them were involved with the boards for all the major established clubs in Europe. What you're just saying now is a rinse and repeat, but just on a domestic level in England.
That's my thing. I don't think. Listen, I fully respect anyone who says I want to go. They want to go in the Super League. It's their opinion. I respect it, and that's fine. I'm just saying this is not just an English hate thing. We're hated throughout football.
Yeah, like I said, Martin, we are hated worldwide.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if anyone sees us in a city scarf, they will give you the most disgusting look ever, because they know that we're cheats. At the end of the day, they'll accuse us of that.
Yeah. They don't know, mate. We're guilty until proven innocent, when it should be the other way around. Yeah,
they basically changed the laws around. And listen, I understand. For me personally, do I want the Super League? No, because I think it would kill English football dead. I think you're killing the pyramid. But I understand the people who do want it. But they've got to ask themselves, I don't know. It's such a tricky one, because it's like, which is the lesser of two evils? I don't know. Which is the lesser of two evils here?
Yeah,
and again, man, it's a rock and a hard place scenario, like I said with UEFA.
Yeah, but actually, what I want to come to is UEFA will cater these big, massive clubs like Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and all the ones that have won Champions Leagues throughout the years, and we just won our first, and then they don't give us the appreciation. They don't.
No. And I don't think you'll ever get the appreciation. I think as City fans, we have to accept we're never going to get the props and the love that we probably want. This is why, for me, we need to stick together as a fan base, because nobody outside the fan base is ever going to like us or appreciate what we've done. Because sadly now, because the media have done such a bad job on this whole scenario, it's tainted everyone's viewpoint. But what I like is City have gone, no bollocks, we're not having this anymore. We're going to fight. We're going to go after people. We're going to do this. But people need to remember this is separate from 115. This is a separate issue. And
Martin, this is why I appreciate our owners here. I appreciate our chairman for coming out and putting a stop to this spun nonsense. Yeah, I've had enough. I've had enough of these Red Cartel members that have been calling out my club and just throwing tantrums at us just because we won the league and they can't. I'm just sick and tired. So
yeah, listen, I'm totally with you, and I do like, people have said to me, you didn't want City to do. No, I wanted City to do it at the right time. There's a time and a place. I think there's now been too much said about our great football club. Too much waffle, too much crap, too much shit that's been said, and enough's enough now. And we've got to
enough. Enough's enough. We have to fight now. We have to fight back. Exactly. We've got
to stay within the laws. We've got to remember we can't make this an emotional fight. Even as fans, we can't make this an emotional fight. We've got to stay. This is what I was saying earlier. As fans now, we've got to become legally trained. We've got to go and get degrees in law to understand what the hell's going on now, which is wrong. But we're football fans.
It's actually weird, right? It's actually weird, yeah. Like on Twitter, when this news popped up, everyone just started becoming lawyers at an instant. It's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny. I just can't laugh. I mean, like
Twitter lawyers.
What?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like, what has Twitter become? A fan base for these deluded mutants on Twitter, or what?
There's a reason why I've never had it, mate.
And there's a reason I never used
People
Twitter
suddenly,
in my
people
life,
suddenly
and I
morph
never
into,
will.
yeah, people suddenly morph into something that they're not even remotely close to when the topic of discussion doesn't suit their narrative, basically.
Look at this. Hello, Patrick. Hello, IT guy. AK, thank you. Do you have anything you want to add before we jump on, mate?
Yes. And before I go, F the Red Cartel, F the league. You know what? F these effing Twitter mutants. They can take that to the bank. They can piss themselves just because they're so weak. They can't even win the league from us. I don't give two shits about it. We are the better team. We are the ones who are saving this league. And if they can't accept it, they can piss off.
I love your passion, AK.
Loving it, AK.
Yeah, come on, City.
Yeah. Good on you, mate.
Appreciate it, mate. You take care. Thank you for the support.
Cheers, brother. Take care.
Cheers.
I'm going to bring in next, as you can see, great caller there from AK, as always. I'm going to bring in PK, then we've got Jack Lee, and then we've got Ed. Jack just wants to come in and rip my head off about something. I know he wants to. He's been giving him for 3 hours. He's telling me no. PK, how are you, mate? MCFC, how are you, mate? Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, PK, you're on mute, mate.
Yeah, you're on mute,
mate. Sorry.
No, go on.
Yeah, this is my first time here. Hi, Martin. Hi, Pat. Yeah. I've been a long time viewer of this. And frankly, like out of all the channels I follow, this is probably the best one because like it gives an insight to how being a fan from the actual local area like feels like, and like even I would like to have an experience like that in future. And yeah, in terms of dealing with the different clubs in the legal matter is what in my point of view is that I don't think we should go after each and every club or the league as a whole for that. Like whatever the reason the club is trying to go against those club right now is, I think it's legit. It's because of the related related parties, something like that, right? So yeah, I mean that's legit. That's 100% legit. That we should be going after because it's evidently xenophobic, right? That's fair enough, but I don't think if we win the 115 charges cases which has been labeled against us, I don't think we should go after each and every of these clubs because it won't do us any good. Okay, and if you are talking about the European clubs, we already know that they are a bunch of hypocrites, right? We can't do anything. And the dogs which are barking in Twitter and all, we know it's like we can't do anything against them. Let them bark. We can just enjoy our football team, like because we know that this is the peak of our history in terms of performances and results, right? So there's no point in like feeling sad because of some other football fans. They're trying to ruin our experience. I don't find it like much of any interest, actually.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, mate. Yeah, the last thing you want to do is go to war with other clubs because at the end of the day, it's a case of making sure you don't eat where you crap, basically, because we could take these clubs to court and then next transfer window, can we have your player? it doesn't work. That's not the right way to do business. So yeah, totally get what you're saying, mate. But look, again, for me, it's just been a case of City would not go ahead with this if they did not think, or they had spent years and years and years collecting information. For all we know, too, these witness accounts too. There could be ample amounts of witness accounts that have come forward. Could be ex-employers or ex-employees of other clubs as well too that have basically had enough and said, no, what City and what possibly the Red Cartel are doing is a bunch of lies, or is basically there just to try and stop Manchester City from becoming as successful as we have over the last 10, 15 years. And obviously, we've been keeping quiet long enough to the point of where now I think the club's just had enough. They put their foot down and said, right, we're going to show you. Everybody knows that we've got some power, some backing behind us, because of obviously our owners and the and the money and the power that comes with that as well. But I just think it's a simple case of we're going to truly show our teeth and just show that, hey, we've been doing the right thing. We've been trying to follow your rules, but you keep moving the goalposts year in, year out, and now finally we've had enough, and we're going to we're just going to go ahead and tear the league to pieces.
This says it all, by the way, from ELCM. Thank you. I knew we'd get some rivals on tonight. City look guilty as fuck. You could have just cooperated with the league instead of resisting and racking up extra charges. This tells me somebody has not read or understood the actual charges we've been charged with. The 115 came in one go. And why would you accept guilt on something you think you're not guilty on? Don't know how the law works at your end, but the law's very different in our end, and this is what City are talking about. Law. Factual law. Not made up BS, not what people want to talk about. Law. I beg people understand the law before they try and quote it. This is what gets me. Nobody's actually... And this is for me where the mainstream media have done such a piss poor job in explaining this whole situation out to people. Like Jan's put it, they're employing anti-competition laws.
100%. But see, all of them, they will keep on finding one thing or the other anyways, right? I understand Pat's point, right? Because City have tried being on the other club side, tried to join the Super League. Of course, it was not a right decision. In future also, I hope City doesn't go by that. And the recent law released by UK government, it prevents it, I guess, right? So, of course, City tried their way as well, right? And despite of that, City are being the PR has been pushed against us again and again and again in the past, right? And it's still going on right now. And we all know that even if we get cleared of these 115 charges, these news channels and media channels and everybody, these ex-footballers and all, they would keep talking shit about us anyways. So I don't think there's any point. Of course, City taking legal action, that I comply about, that I condone, right? But us being sad because of them, and these idiot fans coming from other go and have a look at your own teams, man. You're a Liverpool fan. If you're a Liverpool fan, go and have a look at your sponsors, what they're doing. Okay. They're in the right soup right now. Standard Chartered are getting charged for their terrorism links, right? So go and focus on your own clubs. Don't come to a City-based channel and talk shit if you don't know anything about it.
No, I agree. Have you got anything else you want to add on the news today? KDB, possibly Saudi or Alvarez or Bruno? Anything you want to say on them?
KDB, yeah, I think, I'm a very big KDB fan. I am one of those who believes that he has truly been, if not the best, one of the best players in our history. But if it's better to end things on a high, just like Philipp Lahm did with Germany national team or Bayern Munich, or there are many other examples like that, right? I think he should not be ending his City career like Fernandinho did, or like even Sergio to an extent. So yeah, I think if we get a really good offer, we should consider. But if he gets an extension, I won't be sad. I won't have any problem.
No, I'm totally with you, mate. Yeah. Is there anything you want to add, PK? And by the way, what a great first call Honestly, come on again,
Yes.
mate. You've been brilliant.
Yeah, good to have you on, mate.
Thank you, Martin. Thanks, Pat.
No, and I just want to say thank you for all the support. Really do appreciate it. And I feel like I'm being rude. I'm not. I'm just 4 people waiting in the background as well.
Sure.
But thank you, PK. Appreciate it, mate. Really do.
Legend PK. Talk to you soon, mate.
If I was
Yeah,
caught
thanks.
speeding at 30, but do I know I was doing 28? Do I make up evidence say I was doing 50? Of course you do. Right, let's bring in Jack, Lee, Ed, Jason, Luke. Thank you for your patience, gentlemen. Really do appreciate it. Go on then. If this is going to be you having another pop at me for another hour, I'm not bothering. You can speak with Pat.
No, I'm not here for that, and that's what.
No, Jack, you're on your own, mate.
No, I just think these rival club fans are just pathetic. Surely, instead of looking at our club, where we're actually winning stuff and we're competing year in, year out, and we're doing the objective of the game year in, year out. We're the only serious club in this country that takes the game seriously. I look at the big 3 clubs, specifically that are making these stupid mistakes is Arsenal, United, and Tottenham. I'm not going to say Liverpool because they've actually won stuff recently, but they're
United. We got last week, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, they should have lost to Coventry. I'm not even going to mention that, but yeah, these clubs that win nothing, that blame all their failures on a club that actually does something correctly. They've just got to take a bit of accountability. Like I always say, accountability is the best ability. And if you don't hold your own club accountable, you have no right to have a pop at anyone else. So whether we're guilty or not guilty, that doesn't affect their way of trying to run their club properly and demand to raise the standards of their pathetic clubs. And to be honest, I think they're the 3 worst run clubs in the world because they're just more bothered about PR and fan engagements than actually achieving the aim of the game, which is success, competing for trophies.
No, I agree with you, mate. I think it's a case of those 3 clubs in particular. You look at it and you say they've obviously gone and spent as much money as we have. However, we've had the right tools and the right resources to actually turn that into success. And then because they haven't been able to follow suit or be able to do the same thing, then they're effectively moving the goalpost to try and say, well, okay, we're going to change. We're going to get regulations are going to be changed so that if we don't win what they win, then we're just going to go ahead and attempt to taint that because we have the PR, we have the fan base, and we can do that. And sooner or later, I think everything's going to come to the surface, and I think we're going to truly see just exactly what some of these clubs are actually about.
Yeah, well, regardless, like we'll never, in the eyes of the public, people with no law degrees, no very little knowledge on the law, and probably don't have a higher education, and their sort of views on the matter are very, very limited. That they've got nothing to go off. So what does their opinion matter? I'd rather listen to a very highly educated, qualified person who understands the law, understands the rules, who is going to explain the situation correctly and not just go off emotion like fans will.
No, I think you're right because I've said, I think 3 times, I never signed up to get a law degree to be a fan.
Yeah, same. Ultimately, we don't know what's going on. We can't control the situation, but we've got to get behind that club. And people saying, "Oh, how are we letting this go by?" Well, what can we do? Not back our owners who've brought us so much success in the last 15 years, who've completely transformed the area of East Manchester. Let's not forget that. While that lot in Stretford,
Great point.
They're letting the bloody ground crumble. And I don't hear anyone going on about that.
No, you're absolutely spot on with that. You never hear about it when United have got a water feature coming out of their stadium and we've created thousands upon thousands of jobs and opportunities. Listen,
what about the fact that United have actually been found guilty of FFP breaches?
Yeah, but it's not
never see a column inch about it.
I always look at the little things in an owner. Yeah, owners can pump money in and they can make superstars and have all the best top to bottom EDS or whatever. but I also look at what they do for the area.
Yeah.
And what they've done for East Manchester, that is unrecognisable to what it used to be. Trust me, I've lived there all my life. It was a shithole from start to finish.
It was a wasteland. It's barely recognisable now. It's the best thing that's happened to that area since the Industrial Revolution.
Yeah, it's absolutely astonishing what they've done. And what's sad is, like I said, I understand the City point of view when it turns into the xenophobic and the racist. My only issue with that is that's hard to prove legally. Yeah. That's a very hard sell.
Yeah, you would need like witness statements or actually like hard evidence.
That is a simple, that's an emotional take, and that's a subjective point of view. So I don't think we're ever going to get away with that one. Where I think City can win is the business law. But then the Premier League, like I said, they're going to kick back and go, well, no, you signed up to these laws, but City can say, well, we're forced to sign up to these laws. Where else do we go? You don't want us in the Super League. You don't want us here, there, and everywhere. So we've signed up. But, I mean, I'd love to have seen United under these rules 20 years ago, or other teams under these rules 20 years ago. I'd love to, because I'll tell you what, I think football has turned into, how do I put it? It's imploding on itself. And for what it's trying to do now is backtrack. It's trying to backtrack now.
Yeah. And any owner worth his salt, that's Sir Jim Ratcliffe. The best thing he can do to Old Trafford, knock it down, turn it into a water park and build a log flume. So that's all it's good for.
Yeah, it is. Hey, trust me, it is.
I've said before, mate. I think the best person they can sign for next season is Michael Phelps.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring Ed in with Jack. How are you doing? Because obviously you two speak to each other in spaces.
Ed, how are you, mate?
Doing good. Can you guys hear me? We good?
Yeah. Can hear you, mate.
Thanks. Before, I just want to shout out blood banks. You know, I know we talk a lot about food banks in here, but don't forget your local blood bank as well. You know, they help a lot of people out there who have injuries or who might not be able to have access to certain things. So don't forget them as well. It's been a crazy day, fellas. It's been a crazy day. You know, I'm working and I go to my Twitter and all I hear is Jack, you know, going off on Twitter. But with these charges, man, like once I read about them, right, and immediately I thought about what happened during the January transfer window when they made a rule basically out of nowhere, brought it to the teams to stop Newcastle and us from getting players from the Saudi League, basically. And I think that's the discrimination piece they're trying to present, because who those rules put in place for? You can't. When those rules came out, everybody thought, oh, they're doing this for Newcastle City, of course, because we have links there. And, you know, this is getting out of hand. And, you know, I know listening earlier with Martin, you're talking about the Super League. I don't think it's going to get to that level, because I read a report that, you know, we do have one witness statement, but there's also other teams who are backing multiple points in our lawsuit as well. So it's not like we're the only team that feels this way. I read it was like 8 to 10 teams agree with us on certain points as well. So it's not like we're going after every single team, or, you know, every single team feels like we hate the system. Like I was reading some people on Twitter talking about how can City be against the rules in the Premier League when they build up this far? I'm like, it wasn't because of the Premier League that we built up to this point. We've been fighting the Premier League since day one, you know, so.
And there was no rules, by the way, when we got taken over.
True.
You know, so a lot of people just, you know, not fully educated on the topic, and, you know, they just listen to the local pundits they see on YouTube or Talk Sport. And hey, whatever you want to believe in, we just had breaking news today about Liverpool sponsorships, right? And everybody wants to come for our sponsorship.
Oh, let's not mention Standard Charter. Whoa, no.
Our sponsors are real. Our sponsors is.
Mate, they're gonna have to change their ground name to Taliban Field.
Did the Premier League third-party investigators look through their record?
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
You know, like did the Premier League third party look through their records of their sponsorship and do all this extra stuff they're doing with us? No. So it just shows you that we're getting a fine comb over for certain reasons, right? And I'm really interested to see what comes out about this, because if so many things are proven to be unlawful, right? Like you can't conduct Premier League at the end of the day as a business, right? And we're a business in the UK, so you can't make up certain rules for your business when you operate in the country. You can't have separate rules, and it's going to be interesting to see what the ruling is, because even like the 14, I feel like it's going to be hard to change, but I feel like they're looking at it like a democracy, right? Like, why do we need 14 teams? Why can't we have 11? Why can't it be 11-9 verdicts? That's majority right there. Why do we need 14 teams, right? So I'm just waiting to see what is. I'm waiting for the crying emojis. We got Husam running amok. We got Terry, throwing shades left and right with allegedly. I'm just waiting for December, the new year, till we can put this all behind us, man. And people can
just
say,
on Steve Black's comment, yeah, that's what I mean, though. They're going to need evidence. They're going to need witness statements, everything else. You can't just make the allegation.
Which makes you wonder. You have to speculate then if they're going down that road, they must have some sort of hard evidence.
Like a lot of people say about our lawyers,
it's just not in the DNA of the owners to just go willy-nilly and just throw shade. There must be something to it. Or it's 15 years of building stuff up.
As City fans, I know we've been waiting for the team to come out and say anything or fight back. So, I like what they did today. If the legal team is advising us of this and something we can attack for, I'm going to trust the legal team that they found something. We got Chelsea over here buying their own training grounds. I don't see them selling hotels. I don't see them getting the same treatment as us. And what's going on here? Come on, like
it's because where their owners are from.
Exactly. Their owners are their actual two main income people are from Saudi.
Are they?
That's why I don't understand how they get away with it.
But it's not known, Martin. It's not known, though.
Because no one looks into the background of it. They all think Todd Bowley's a front man and no one's realising it. No one's ever realised it from day one about Bowley. He's a front man for the two Saudi guys who are sat behind him.
He's a yes man to the Saudis, yeah.
If you actually look into the Chelsea deal and go behind the scenes, it's clear as day. But again, it comes back to we're only lonely little dumb football fans as the world sees us. We're all thick as pig shit to a guy and a woman and a boy. We're all thick. But this is what Khaldoon once said. This all comes back to Khaldoon's whole thing ages ago. We just be careful what you do. People in glass houses should not be throwing stones around, and they have to.
It's going to play out, man. And, like I said, there's a lot of people who don't know the full details that are coming out and are saying these things. But at the end of the day, the truth is going to come to light. We're going to present our evidence. The league's going to present their evidence, and we'll see who wins, man. And I feel like there's been a lot of and I know some you said earlier, they signed up for these laws, but I think they're going after the ones where it's in the middle of the season, right? And you're just bringing this to us, and we have a certain window of time to look it over and to then make a decision, right? So I think they're going after those rule changes in the middle of the season.
Good point, Matt. That was a very good point.
So,
no. Anyway, Jack, anything you want to add before we jump on? Because I've got loads backing up, mate.
All right. All I'd say is, so football fans who claim to be lawyers, go and get a law degree, try and get some credibility, and if you're going to slate City, at least use some bloody proof behind it, because all I've seen is just a bunch of numbers. It's like when you pull the back of Woody from Toy Story. You pull the back of the string, it comes out, and he just says the same thing over and over again. 115. Guilty. Pay them off.
Parents, mate. Just parents.
You sound like gold fridge over there, man. You sound like just like gold fridge.
No, appreciate it. Thank you, Jack.
Appreciate
it, mate. Take care. Always welcome, as you know. Ed, going to keep you on for a minute. I'm going to bring in Luke from Not In My Lifetime podcast. Did a very good show earlier with Tone, Blue Tone. Go back and watch that. Good evening, Luke. Thank you for being so patient, mate.
All right, mate. All good. How you guys doing? All good?
So go on then. Talk to us. How are you feeling?
I'm not actually surprised. I mean, I said to Tone earlier on when we were doing the stream, it doesn't surprise me at all this has happened. If anything, it kind of shows the confidence of the club that we know that we're innocent, and the fact that we're finally going to show this league how poor and run. Like the fact that they've been holding back and changing so many different rules because certain clubs like Chelsea, us, Newcastle, and probably it would just be us, by the way. It'd be other teams down the line as well who have new ownerships down the line that get invested in, that they want to improve and get themselves up there. But changing the rules does nothing but make it worse in terms of competition. If you've got competition in this league, let teams invest the money properly in their teams, and you'll see a much better league because of it. And I do not understand why they're doing this, and also what other clubs think that just being behind the league is going to make a difference. So in the end, it would just be really funny to see how this all plays out, really, because it just shows you how corrupt this league really is.
Do you know what I think we need to do as well? I think they need to come up, by the way, and to say that's a really good point. That I don't think that's talked about enough. Do you know what I think they need to do? They need to put a rule in where we don't have any rule changes when a season's began. So you know where you get a lot of competitions like the World Cup or you get whatever, even happens in tennis and cricket, where it's like getting to Wimbledon. It's like going through or the US Open or whatever. And then you hit the quarterfinal stage of it, and then you go, by the way, we're going to change all the rules around now.
Yeah.
Someone would go, no, hang on a minute, stop that. I understand, like now, but we're in the pre-season break, right? So they're all going to go into their annual meeting and they'll vote. What they did to Newcastle United in January was pretty disgusting. What they wanted to do was they were so shit scared, excuse my language, of Newcastle going to Saudi Arabia and getting a Neves or a Benzema or Summer, and they were going to take their top four place, and they didn't like it. So what they wanted to do very quickly was get into a very hastily sorted meeting and let's get all this changed. You can't do that because that's not signing up to the rules at the start. That's changing as you go to suit your narrative. And I think City's point of view is, if you've got 14 clubs that can do this, well, we can change laws as we're even going along here. Is that, to me, is that not in a way kind of match fixing or league fixing even? Can you not vote your way into certain situations here? Or is that me being really stupid and devil? To me, that can be regarded as you twisted rules here to suit your narrative. Oh, Newcastle are 6.
Yeah. Like some sort of a soft coup. Yeah, like a soft coup on the league. Yeah.
Do you know, I don't like how that sits when you can change mid competition.
Yeah, I feel like that's what the argument is mainly against, and they're just highlighting what happened recently. But I feel like if we look in the past, there's definitely been some shuffle of the rules for other teams to get an advantage or to stop City from doing something. You don't want to think of it that way because, you want to, in an ideal world, you want everybody to be treated equally, right? Or treated fairly. But we've seen throughout the Premier League, that's just not the case. They did it. And let's not forget the teams who actually wanted the Super League and brought the Super League to the UK teams. it was Arsenal, it was Liverpool, and it was Spurs. But yet, we're looked at as the Super League person, the Super League villain, right? When we weren't in the back room making these deals with Real Madrid and Barcelona.
No, it was us. Well, if you look at it, like, I remember rightly from a couple of years ago, City and Chelsea were both bought into it basically by the other clubs being pressured, saying that if you don't join us, you're stuck here with everyone else. So I'm not sort of saying the club, shouldn't be laughed at. I mean, I still think that was a joke. The club even much pressure into it when they knew exactly how the clubs actually felt about us anyway. It just didn't make any sense to me why we moved there anyway. But thankfully, we didn't in the end. We sort of obviously pulled out, but it just makes me laugh, sort of seeing also the reaction to it as well today. I mean, and just the way as well how how blatantly obvious, like especially is it the Gulf state, the fact that Abbey obviously owns us and also Abbey owns Newcastle. The claim that the City have made about the racism allegations, right? It makes a lot of sense because look at how all the American owners are in straight away, no issues at all. Yet a club that wants to get invested by Saudi, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, or whatever, for some reason, just are questioned and by the media. It's just all it's also snidey, and that's why I never understood about it. I never understood why it hasn't been called out before. I think it wouldn't surprise me if Newcastle, or that one club that actually supported us, or doing that statement thing illegally. Obviously, if it's not fair enough, but I just think Newcastle, the ones actually helping us out here.
Let me ask a quick question. Do you think City kind of thinks the league could have done more with these charges and maybe how they present it to the public? Because, the league could have put a statement out clarifying charges. The league could have done – I feel like the league could have done more because they just let the media just run with it, right? They didn't give any clarity.
I think it's dangerous because they all signed NDAs after what happened with the UEFA case. I think they all had to go into silence. So that's probably why I do think the media should have been. The media were allowed to make their own narratives up about this. And they were allowed to run with false stories. And it all got made to be. And the thing that really gets me, there's banter and then there's rivalry. When I hear rivals say to me, Everton and Forest got done early, because it's one case, and they both admitted guilt. We have been totally and denied all innocence. So, for example, if I commit murder and I go to my lawyer, I admit guilt. It gets done in a matter of a week or two. See you later. See you. Sentence. I'm done. If I go, no, then we go. And it's been too much trial by media. It's been guilty. It's been guilty. Prove your innocence. And the thing is, nobody's ever read the Cass case. And I understand rivals because I don't expect them to sit and read a 98-page document. And the thing is, this has never been. It's like today. We've even had to now clarify. It's nothing to do with 115. This is a separate issue. And I'll be straight with you. And this is just my viewpoint. I don't believe all this court there. By the way, it's not a court panel hearing in November. Why would City do this if they were going to get charged?
Exactly. That's what I said.
Because I was straight with you. I personally think City know the outcome of this 115 issue. And this is the next phase.
Yeah,
I do not believe. Because why would City potentially get found guilty, but in the meantime sue the Premier League for this? Doesn't add up. Doesn't add up somewhere with me.
But Martin, that idea doesn't sell.
No, because rivals will say, "Oh, they're doing it to soften the blow of what inevitably is going to happen in November."
Or they're doing it to get the rule changed before the hearing. Right?
There's always going to be a counter argument to whatever we say, no matter how much common sense or moral fiber it has to it, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Before we shoot, Ed and Luke, anything you want to add on KDB or Alvarez or summer window in general? Because we've got Damash and Jason as well in the background. Thank you for your patience, gentlemen.
Go ahead.
I feel like I know Luke's probably tired of talking about transfers. He's been talking about it for the past 2 days. Congrats on the 1K, by the way, Luke.
Big congrats on that.
Yeah, congrats to you, mate.
Okay.
Don't worry, it's not more next week when I get on.
I feel like
Well, we have him on
Alvarez.
for the first podcast episode here, and then he's done.
I feel no. This is an Allen over there, right? Let's get it shut down. But no, no. I feel like it's like Alvarez. Is we all knew Alvarez would be a hot commodity, right? But just like with other teams, we can price him out. He doesn't have a release clause. We can price him out to any club that comes for him. So I'm not really worried about Alvarez. You know, KDB. I'm fairly confident KDB wants to stay. I feel like, you know, is he doing this for a wage increase or not? Or is he just not trying to, you know, he probably has connections out there for his future, right? He doesn't want to come out and say, no, I'm not going there and list all these reasons why he doesn't want to go there if he's building business relations out there too, right? So, you know, you never want to burn bridges. So I don't mind KDB coming out. You know, where I'm a little bit worried about is Ederson because, you know, we're still waiting for some clarity of that. You know, Ortega is a very good goalkeeper, but at the same time, I think, you know, I would rather have Ederson, in my opinion, just because his age, also because of his kicking ability. And I feel like he's an underrated shot blocker. You know, he makes some timely stops. He doesn't stop everything, but he makes timely stops. And Martin, you know this. I just want Bruno done. That's all I want. That's literally all I want.
I have no update for anyone else.
I know you don't have any updates. You know, I listen to you, Martin, all day. I know you don't have any updates, but you know, Bruno's the guy I want.
Yeah, you were in the 4-hour Twitter space earlier.
Yeah.
That went on for 4 hours.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know, Martin, you know specifically for you can't open a Twitter space without it being 3 to 4 hours anyway. So, you know, like you just have to
makes it be 4 in the morning when we get done.
But no, I'm you know, I know a lot of people thought we were gonna have a busy transfer window. It doesn't look that way. We're gonna get 1 or 2 guys in, but I'm fine with that. It looks like next summer is gonna be that big window, you know. So it is what it is. You have no control over it. I still back our team against what I'm seeing everything else out there. You know, I feel like we're gonna come back. We're gonna have you know, some guys are going to be on preseason. Hopefully they come back in the camp refreshed for the new year, and we start off strong.
Are you going to preseason, Ed?
See, I was until Martin dropped that bomb on me, man. So I do want to meet you guys, so I still will travel out there.
He's only coming for the superstars.
You know, I still like Orlando's only like an hour and a half.
And Haaland and Bob.
I don't have no problem linking up with you guys for some drinks or whatever, you know.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah. Look, as we said before, we said our end of season show a few days ago. We're looking forward to meeting anyone and everyone out there who's going to be a part of the preseason. I'll be there for 3 to 4 matches. So yeah, if you're around, I'll be tooting my horn, making sure everybody knows where I'll be because I can't wait to meet everyone.
Come on, by the way, there's nearly 180 of you in here. Give that big thumbs up, a smash, because the more likes, the more people find.
You must be getting close to 4K, man.
Yes,
49.
49.
Yes, come on, guys, come on, subscribe.
Go on.
We just need you guys to come back out for the Club World Cup, though. We need you both to come out for the Club World Cup.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely be there.
We gotta have some shows with that. You know, talking about how. Yeah. I know Martin thinks that he doesn't like it. All right,
Martin thinks it's a tin pot trophy. So he's
I'm just got my missus to agree to do this one. You want me out next year as well, Jesus?
We can make this a regular thing.
Don't bother with that.
Thank you for joining us. Take care, Ed.
Cheers, Ed. See you soon, mate.
Luke, what did you think then? Either KDB or Alvarez or anything transfer-wise? I don't want to take any spoilers away from your show.
Well, if you want to see that, I'll see it on my own. I was chatting with Turn about it earlier on, and the thing is, if you read half the rumours, most of the squad's probably going to go. If you look at that, rumours are going on the article. So I'm kind of just weighing it up as paper talk. Now I know Kev definitely has to look at it, considering how old he is. I said earlier on, he's obviously 33 this summer. He hasn't overseen anything. He's probably been our best player. I know people will say differently about stuff or whatever, but I think for me, what I've seen of him, he's probably one of my best players, top 2 players of all time. Of how good he's. I think he'll be here though. I think he'll sign a new. I don't think he'll be off. I think Alvarez will definitely stay as well. I mean, I get the Atletico Madrid link. Obviously, a lot of the Paul and people like that, obviously, and Molina, who played for Atletico, obviously would be get on pretty well in the Argentina camp. But I just feel like players like that won't go unless they generally want to go. I've heard nothing about Alvarez wanting to go at all yet. Anyway, I know a lot can change, but I just think all this stuff going on about departures, I think is most of it is just paper talk. I think De Bruyne will stay and Alvarez will stay.
It's weird because I had a look at the way Walker's quotes were talked about with Sauda, and it was sell him. How dare he say he's going? KDB says the same thing, and it's a very different outcome. This is why I've always said we have different reactions.
Do you think that first half of the season, with him being injured, and the fact that we still played decent football, is the reason why most fans are a bit more easygoing with Kevin De Bruyne leaving? Not just one because of the money he'll bring back in the club if he does go, but the fact of the matter is that there's no speculation. How are we going to survive without Kevin? Well, we saw it in the first half of the season.
Do you know what people got to realise is you are not going to get the replacement for Kev this summer, and as fans we realise that. So selling
another thing I was just thinking about as well too is, you know, if we look at examples of certain players who've gone over to Saudi, and I think the one that really stands out for me is obviously Cristiano. You know, the money he's on, I'm surely part of the reason why he went over there too was not just to promote Saudi Arabia to try and get the 2034 World Cup, but I'm sure in his contract with the exception of injuries, there would be something in there that he has to play a certain amount of games per season. I'm curious to see that if Kevin De Bruyne were interested in deciding to go over to Saudi Arabia, I wonder how much game time he would have to play based on contract, because he's not a player who can play every 3 days. And to be honest with you, Saudi Arabia, they do play. It might be a few less teams in the league, but they still have to play a lot of games. There's a lot of traveling with that Asian Champions League. You know, one weekend they're playing against Al Ittihad playing against Al Nassr or whatever it is, and then the next week they could be playing in the Champions League against an Australian side. They've got to travel all the way to Australia for all we know. That's going to take a toll on a player who's well known for having long-term injuries. And I also think too, he may have taken down. I think he's taken the road of 2 players. One, Toni Kroos, because Toni Kroos has been very, very public about how he feels about the Saudi League. He doesn't think there's any credibility to it, and he's actually had to go with quite a lot of young players who've decided to take the quick route and get the big paychecks. I think he's still aiming for MLS. I think it's part of the reason that I think it just suits his lifestyle with his kids, with his family and everything, because his wife, I believe, does work in the fashion industry. So a big market club like New York would be absolutely perfect for her. And also, too, I think he's seen what sort of contract Lionel Messi's got. I'm not saying he'll get Lionel Messi money, but I'm pretty sure he knows for a fact that he will be able to get some sort of a considerable amount of or high percentage of what Messi gets. And I think too, it just makes sense from a city football group standpoint as well too. If you were able to sign Kevin De Bruyne to play for New York City and bring him into that new stadium, which by the way they're building in Queens, which by the way looks absolutely fantastic from the artist renditions and things like that. I just think it screams a huge, it's huge for the publicity of the City Football Group, and I think it's massive for football in New York and the MLS as well too. Because let's not forget, for all we know, by the time Kevin De Bruyne goes over there, Lionel Messi could retire. And what's the MLS going to do when he retires?
I'm sorry to jump in, but I'm just saying this, and it makes me disgusted. And I promise I'm going to bring Dimesh and Jason in 1 minute. I do promise. This is Matt Scott, who works for TalkSport 2, and he's meant to be a journalist. This was his tweet 7 hours ago. What more destabilising, more despicable, more self-entitled disgrace of a football club could there be? Cheating, lying, bullying. That is all they stand for. I could not hold them in baser contempt. That is a journalist, ladies and gentlemen. Not a fan.
Not someone on a booze.
Journalist.
Yeah.
With that. So nobody ever tell us we can legally not do nothing because we are sick to death of the media crap that is coming out of everyone's mouth. Because it isn't just fans, it isn't just rivals, it is dickhead reporters who think they know when they know jack shit, who don't even know what's in the bottom of the biscuit tin, never mind anything about this case. You know, how do people become journalists now? Make up a pile of shit and get it out of a Kinder egg. What is going on in this world?
That's why I'm doing it, Martin.
We are meant to trust to give us politics and news and everything else. Garbage.
It's why I didn't do journalism, mate. Honestly, I did journalism for a degree. Honestly, I just used most of what I got out of it to do stuff like this. This is much more of my time.
And I'll say it now, Matt Scott. Absolute threat of a human being.
Yeah.
Anyway, Luke, thank you, mate. Do you want to plug your channel, mate? Tell it, by the way, big up on the 1K.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I wish we got to 1K. I think we're not far off 700 subscribers now. Anyway, I think we're getting.
No, you'll get there.
We're getting. We'll definitely get there. We're getting a lot of support now. We're just every time we do a stream. So when people want to go on, I'm sure someone might link it in the chat. Normal Last Time podcast. Me, Danny, Alex is usually here, but he's actually on holiday with his missus' birthday celebrations in Belgium, getting pissed. We're having a good time anyway. But yeah, it's we do it every week. I'm trying to do more stuff here and there, more videos here and there to sort of update and transfers and that. When I get some good news and or some news worth talking about. But yeah, it should be good. Martin, I think you're on soon. I've got to sort out obviously a week for you to come on, and obviously when you're obviously free on a Tuesday. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed it anyway today. I know you were doing your space today. I think I wasn't this one time, but I heard it was quite a good one again.
I was hoping for a quiet day, wasn't happening. We were just going to do the show and that was it. But it's all going to be about the future of City in the summer. But hey ho, that changed.
No worries.
That changed at the half 12 last night when I got the message, and I was like, right, okay.
Here we go. Yeah. No, but thank you for having me on there, guys. I do appreciate both of you.
Thanks, mate. Good day,
podcast, absolute legend of a group. Get over there, show them a lot of love. Top lads. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, mate.
We're going to bring Demesh in, and then we've got Jason as well. Thank you so much for your patience. Demesh, thank you, mate.
Demesh, how are you, mate?
Yeah. Hi, Martin. Hi, Pat. I'm good. How are you guys?
All right, mate.
Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah. Doing good. Just busy with work these days, but yeah, City won the 4-peat, so really good.
So, what do you make the news today? It's been a quiet day, hasn't it?
Yeah. We get these days very often, so yeah. I don't think it's it's a big deal. City is suing Premier League, so it's a big deal. But I don't think it's too much related to the 115 charges, and everyone is going with that narrative that City just want to get something before they go for the hearings for the FFE charges. So, but I don't think it's for that. It's literally for the rule changes which Premier League is pushing for, stopping essentially multi-club owners to work. And it's why wouldn't a multi-club owner want some benefits of its other clubs? If we have invested millions of euros, pounds, whatever you want to call them, millions of pounds in other clubs, why wouldn't they want some benefit out of it? Obviously, if I own another club, I would give them player for 30 million instead of giving 50 million to a rival club. Why wouldn't I do that if I have multi-clubs? So it's just to stop the dominance of not just City, but this model essentially. All these clubs like Arsenal, United, and other big clubs, they don't own multiple clubs. So they are essentially wanting to stop these kind of owners to work in a new manner, which is more future proof, more economical in the long term, more sustainable as well. So I don't know why it's unsustainable when you are saving money by owning multiple clubs and earning from different sources at the same time. So I just don't get their points on some of the things. Okay, there should be some regulation to it. Obviously, you can't be like spend however you want and like get hundreds of millions for like totally non-worth it sponsorship deals. But you can't just limit a business to spend exactly what they feel is the correct amount. So City has right to sue against these rules, and even if City fails in this appeal, there's nothing wrong in it. We could appeal. We filed a case. We appealed against these rules. If we get something positive from it, amazing. If not, it's essentially the same thing which is today. So yeah, like I don't think it's anything negative for us. It's it if it's positive, it's positive. If not, it's fine. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with it. Any news? What do you think about KDB potential or even the Alvarez? Because I mean, for me, on the Alvarez thing, listen, I could see him going to Atletico. Do I think it'll happen? No. Do I think he'll leave? No. Do I see Julian Alvarez at Manchester City in 4 years? No.
Yeah,
Do you think Julian Alvarez's longevity at City is determined by how long Haaland chooses to stay?
Yeah,
big time. Yeah, because
to be
I think
honest,
if Alvarez leaves, I think the whole descending, the descending release clauses every season will just be irrelevant. I think Haaland will just.
Yeah, can I just do this very quickly because I don't want to lose it? Mark Harris, thank you for your gift in 5 subs, mate.
Thanks,
you are
Mark.
a legend, and well done to the people who've got it. Thank you so much for your continued support. You are a legend, sir, and well done to the people who've got it. Sorry, Domestico, mate. It's your time.
Yeah, on Alvarez, I don't think, irrespective of Haaland staying or leaving, I don't think Alvarez will be here for like long term. I guess he might be here for 2 years, 3 years. I don't think he will be here long term because, like, after Pep goes and whosoever comes in, like, it's not easy to do how Pep is managing this team, and they would want like a proper striker, I suppose. And like Alvarez is one of the good strikers. Like for a second, he's one of the best, but for a first choice striker, he might be of more of a Jesus type of a striker rather than an Aguero or a Haaland. So I suppose if the hiring team or the new manager wants like a proper striker, I think City would target someone else. And if Alvarez can't be the first choice striker after Haaland goes, then he'll definitely go to some other club and would like to be the main man at, let's say, Barcelona or Atletico Madrid. But I don't think this year he'll leave. He'll stay for this year for next couple of years at least. Yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think the guy deserves to be the main man. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Did he know Haaland was signing at the same time? 1000%. I agree. But if you're a footballer of any ilk or any quality, you don't want to be back up forever.
Yeah, exactly. And for Haaland, and I don't think Haaland is going anywhere soon as well. Like how happy Haaland feels, and especially after Mbappe going to Real Madrid, I don't think Haaland and Mbappe, even for their own PRs, I don't think they would like to play together in any team ever. Yeah, like I think they would like to be more like a Ronaldo versus Messi thing going on between Haaland versus Mbappe. So I don't think they would want to play in the same team. So I don't think Haaland will go to Real Madrid. And to be honest, on the current scenario, what other good option is there besides City and Real Madrid? Like I don't think there's any other team.
No.
So I think Haaland, surprisingly to others, not so much to me or some of the City fans, but surprisingly to others, Haaland could be like Aguero, staying here for like 10 years, maybe going when he's like 29, 30 maybe.
I said that last season. I think he could end up falling in love with this place, which he already is. Yeah, you'll always want the leave clause, but I am It's a mad one. It is. But I need to read this from David Maskew because he makes a great point. If you're a member of a hunting club and 40 members vote, you can hunt an endangered animal that is protected by law. Does that mean you can do it? It's a complete point.
Good analogy. Yeah.
It's an absolute super analogy, that, David. Well done, mate.
Yep.
Love it.
Very good.
And anyways, if Haaland leaves and he leaves like on 150 million pound or like 170 million pound release clause, I'm happy with it. Like, I don't want him to leave, but if we get that amount of money, I won't be sad about it. So, like,
but
we can.
This way, sorry to jump in, mate. I'm not sure. You know why I think that's a great analogy? Clubs can't afford to pay Bernardo's release clause at the minute. So what's making them think they can afford the Haaland release clause?
And it's not. I would say not just about money. Like, players of this quality and this stature want to win regularly. Like, which other team than City and Real Madrid at this point of time in European football can give you money, can give you trophies, can give you recognition, can give you the stardom? Like, if you're totally honest and seeing it on an objective way, like, these two are the teams right now. Like, whatever rivals want to say that you're not a big club like us, he would definitely come to us. But why? Like, if he's not winning the leagues, if he's not going to the last stages of the Champions League, why would he go there? He is not just focused on money. He can get money at City. So why would he, like, it's not like we are paying him less to be here. We are paying him good money. He's earning great. He's happy with the team as well. He's like a star at City. He's global recognized. So why would he actually want to leave if it's not Real Madrid? Like, for Real Madrid, obviously, I would say if Real Madrid is an option, he will go there. But I don't think Mbappe and Haaland would stay together. Like, maybe in 5 years when Mbappe leaves Real Madrid, then Haaland can go to Real Madrid. Like, that's my thought. So I think he'll be staying at City for at least 3-4 years at least. So let's see.
No, great point. Anything you want to add the mess before we move on, mate? Because again, you've been fabulous, and I love hearing your viewpoints.
Yeah. So just talking about the season, amazing season. Did historical thing by the team which has no history. So that's amazing. And
no history, but won an FA Cup before Arsenal were invented.
Yeah. Like, no history.
Got the highest attendance in English football.
Yeah.
I mean,
first to win a European and domestic trophy in the same season.
First to win a European and domestic trophy in the same season, 69-70. But we've got no history, you know what I mean?
And apparently the second most successful Premier League era team. So, like, that as well. Like, people always want to choose when to start their history. So if we start with
I can't believe we're now at double digits league titles now.
Yeah, like, and I can't believe we are just
like, we just won our third overall.
Yeah. Well, like, we have done the three-peat, we have done four-peat, now we have done the treble, we have done the Centurions, we have done the domestic treble, and like, we have won the Champions League, unlike some big clubs. So yeah, like, we have pretty okay history, I would say. So yeah, great season. Like, looking forward to the next season, and like, I'm not too bothered about the transfer window. Like, I'm okay whatever business the club would want to do this year, considering they are not sure if Pep would continue after next year or not, because I would say this year's transfer window would also depend what Pep wants to do. If the club thinks that Pep might leave, they might not want to go for targets which might suit only Pep. So I would say this year's transfer window is more tricky for the club as well, not just in terms of getting players in, but getting the right players in, which would be good for us in the long term. So yeah, transfer window, let's just see whatever happens. But yeah, really great season last year, and yeah, looking forward to the next one.
No, thank you, Dimesh. You've been a legend as always, mate, and always welcome. Always welcome. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Big up Dimesh in the comments.
Thank you,
we're going to
guys.
bring in Grayson in a minute, who has been so patient. And I just want to say a big thank you to Jason for being so patient. By the way, for a team who don't care, and the rivals don't care about us, you're doing a lot of spamming in the comments tonight. But anyway, I need Jason. I don't know if you're there, mate, but can you connect your microphone or your camera, and then I can add you to the stage, mate. Well, then we got you, Jason.
Hey, Martin. Hey, Pat. Can you guys hear me?
Mate, how are you, mate? Thank you so much.
This is good, mate.
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Been on the spaces with Martin before, but I just want to say big up to you guys, and I hope your family's going well, Martin.
No, appreciate that, Jason. I hope everything's good with you, mate. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you. So I'm guessing you want to talk about the news first.
Whatever you want to do, mate. Sure, show. You're the guest.
It's not my show. I'm just I guess the only thing I can say about the news today is, I watched Peaky Blinders, and the last season was about the fact that they try and take a revenge against the Irish. Anyways, there's one quote that they said that, you don't take revenge when you're going against someone that's more powerful than you. So I'm guessing that they're punching back now because, City are, they feel confident and that they have the backbone to punch back now. So I mean that's we can't really predict the future, but I just can't wait for Khaldun's interview. Hopefully, it's coming in a few days.
Do you think that's been delayed because of that? Because, by the way, I just need to add, this has come out from the Times. City are very silent on this right now.
Yep.
On what? On the interview?
Yeah. Do you think that's been delayed because of this, or do you think you knew all this was coming out?
I don't think so. I think Khaldun just moves at his own speed because that actually connects to my next topic that I want to talk about is we're going through a rebuild right on the field, but I feel like we are also going through a rebuild off the field. We just had our CCO taken off of us today from United, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I think there's a lot of things going on off the field that Khaldun needs to focus on other than an interview right now. So he moves at his own speed, but I feel like, this next year we have to focus on a, off-field rebuild as well as on the field. Do you know what I mean?
No, I totally agree with that. I do think there is going to be a... Do you think this happens this summer, though? Or do you think that's going to take probably a couple of... Maybe more next summer than this? You know what I mean? Because I do think there's a lot of expectation that there's going to be a flurry of activity this summer, if that makes sense.
I think it's really hard to do anything with the player movements. So, like you said, like you mentioned many times, that we cannot bring new players in. We cannot bring fresh bloods in as long as we have the players staying, right? That's why I'm not against Alvarez moving at all, because I think Pep gets very sentimental with their players, with his players, a lot of times. So sometimes you need to force him to move some players out so he can get some new ones in to be creative with his squad.
I mean, yeah, I totally get it. I mean, this is why people think I disliked Bernardo. I'm not. The thing is with Bernardo and listen, Bernardo's a brilliant player, and of course you want him to stay. But the problem is, and I've said this 1,000 times, you can't keep bringing in players on 200-300 grand a week, building them up, and then never moving anyone out of the first team squad. Because last summer we brought in, was it 5 players in total? 4 or 5?
While losing 4?
Yeah, 4. But there was 4 first team players went out.
Exactly.
wasn't just kids. There was Laporte, Mahrez, Gundogan, and Cole Palmer all went.
Exactly.
So you had the room then to bring in the
Plus,
four.
You can probably add a couple of loanees who may have knocked on the door of first team. Definitely for cup matches.
Yep. Well, it's
And that's
surprising.
all yeah, go on, sorry, go on, Jason.
It's surprising. It's surprising that City haven't gone through the City group route where they take a few more gambles from the City group team.
No, I totally agree with that.
But actually, my question is just for you guys is, do you think this offseason we should be focusing on convincing Pep to stay at least one more year?
Yes.
And what should we do to convince him to at least try, right? Convince him to stay. Do you think we should sign the players he wants?
They have made the offer.
Yeah,
they have made the offer to him, and it's down to Pep Guardiola now whether he wants to do that offer. But I do think it does hamper us. Not hamper us a lot, because I do think we're okay. Players will still join because of that. But I do believe we need to have a decision quicker than normal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think Pep always mentioned that it depends on the players. It depends on the players. So maybe we need to bring in a type of talent that Pep would like to mold for a few years.
I agree with that. Yeah. I think this summer Pep needs, or even next, or the promise in the future of you will get one or two players you want.
Yeah.
And I think
it'll have to be a case of the majority of the signings are Pep signings, not board signings.
Yeah, that's what
you'd like to think. You'd like to think that most of those board signings will be influenced by Pep anyway.
Yeah. Unless it's another Akanji, right?
It's a weird one because other than Bruno, who I know we're still in for, I don't know where else because the Frimpong he went on holiday. I have heard rumours, whether people want to believe this or not, and it's rumours that there is a chance Gundogan could come back into more of a player coach role. But I think there is a belief behind the scenes that they would like Gundo to be on a coaching staff eventually, maybe start out managing the EDS, for example. I know his wife is very keen to get back to Manchester. So I don't know.
Good restaurants.
It's a very intriguing. I'm finding this window very, very intriguing.
But you're not negative or worried?
No.
Okay.
No. Because for me, it's always been about, I think we were always going to have one of these summers. A lot of people saw last summer as a bad summer. I didn't. I saw it as we were strengthening. Maybe one or two players went out the door that we weren't expecting, i.e. a Cole Palmer. I think there was a belief Gundogan was going to stay up until the last minute. They tried for Bellingham. They tried for Rice. They moved on to where to do. But I think we were always going to get in this position with Pep. And until we get that decision from Pep, I believe we're always going to be umming and ahhing. Because if you're a player, because some players, listen, there'll be some players who 1,000% will sign because it's Manchester City. Now, some players that want to sign knowing the manager's going to stay longer. Because you've got to remember, we bought superstars or really top-notch players before Pep turned up. We had Sterling, we had Aguero, we had all them. So people still want to come to City. And it all depends on where we go in the future as well. The trouble is with me, Jason, because I'm such an old crony of a fan and an epic lapper. To me, I'll just go with the flow. Because here's the thing, as fans, we can't do anything about the transfers, can we? We can all talk about it and say who we want, but the trouble is the board don't listen to us. This is not like Barcelona or Bayern Munich where we have a say in what happens transfer-wise. We get no say.
Yeah.
So why panic about it? Because nothing we do is going to change the board's or Pep's mind, is it?
No, nothing. Yeah, you're right. That's why I'm hoping. Well, actually, sorry. To go back to your point, it makes players wonder whether they should sign or not. Is whether Pep is staying or not, right? But it also, it also makes it harder for players to leave. Also, because they feel like, hey, if this is Pep's last year, I might just stay one more year, like Alvarez. Because if I was Alvarez, I would stay one more year because you look at Sane, Sterling, Ferran Torres, all the young players that left, they never improved after.
Yeah. I think Alvarez is a tricky one because I think Alvarez will stay another year, maybe 2.
Yeah.
But like I said to Dinesh, I don't see Alvarez there in 4 or 5 years. I believe it or not, I do see Haaland staying longer than Alvarez.
Yeah. That's great news.
Only because I don't see who triggers Haaland's release clause.
Fair enough.
If nobody can afford Bernardo at 50 million, who the hell's going to pay 150 million plus for Erling Haaland?
Where else does he want to, would he?
There's only Real Madrid, and Real Madrid don't have the money. That they're about to boil it down into Mbappe. This is the belief from Real Madrid. People talk about Real Madrid spending shitloads of money for years and years. You actually look at Real Madrid spending over the last 5 years, they've been saving money. They brought in one player and generally a free transfer. So I think one season it was Tuchemene and Alaba, and then they let 2 or 3 players go. They brought Camavinga in, and they signed
for 20 million too.
Yeah, and they got Rudiger on a free. And they've been saving the money. They let Benzema go, they let Bale go, they were letting all the big earners go out the door, saved all the money, then they went big on Bellingham. Then they've gone big on Mbappe. They've been clever about it. There's this false belief that Real Madrid have spent 400 million every window, and they never have.
Well, they're getting a lot of value from their transfers. They're getting
spot on. Of course, yeah. They've also been very clever.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's clever or just that they're just powerful. They're just powerful.
For me, I think they've been clever and they've been patient.
What they're doing is they're silently turning into Galacticos without Galacticos spending.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, yes, their fans have dominated, but when they've not won a league, they've gone, you know what? We know what's going on. We'll reset. Some of their fans have not gone into meltdown like some have. They haven't. They've understood that they need to reset for the year. And maybe this is our reset for a year or 2. But if we get a Bruno and a Savio and eventually get a Frimpong, that's a damn good summer for me.
Really? That's if we only got those 3?
Yeah. And we don't lose anyone. Because Bruno comes in, adds to our midfield. Frimpong is a really good replacement for Walker. And Savio's a winger. And that's a young squad. And then next summer, KDB can go out the door and you bring in Musiala.
Mm-hmm.
And within that 12-month period, you built your next 10 years of Manchester City going forward.
But what do you think is our biggest transfer window probably in the Pep era? I'd say it's probably the summer before the Centurion season. The summer before the Centurion season. So the second summer.
We sold or we let go about 5 first teamers.
Didn't we drop the average age of the squad dropped in that summer by about 5 years or something?
Yeah. We had no fullbacks.
Yeah.
We had no fullbacks at some point.
Exactly, yeah. Or every fullback we had was well in their 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're close to another summer transfer window like that, but it's not this summer.
I mean, by the way,
these are just small additions, tweaking the squad enough. And of course, there are players that still need to get a bit more game time than what they've had the last 2 years. We're interested to see how Pep utilizes them. Big example, of course, is Mateus Nunes.
Honestly, to read this, Salim, thank you for your super chat, mate. even with our super team, City is the only team with fear. And they showed that in the Champions League. I don't think fear, they respect.
Yep. Well, Alan's not going to like this because Mateus Nunes was definitely not a panic buy. He was on Pep's
2 years.
Yeah, he was on Pep's wish list for years. And
don't forget too, it came out a few months later. They said if Wolves didn't sell him to us, they would have been in breach of their FFP PSR.
Oh yeah.
So we did them a favor, if anything.
Well, to be fair, he would have been successful at Liverpool, I feel.
Right, so Perez is very shrewd. I think Real Madrid had to go through 2 or 3 years of building, getting rid of some of the deadwood on the high wages. Like, we're not extreme, but we can quietly move on a Cancelo, a Calvin Phillips, big earners that need to leave. We can add more in them. I think at the minute it's a balancing act between reducing the age of the squad overall. Because what we're not careful is by the time we hit 2026, there's going to be 8 players 30 or above. And I think we're just trying to get that down so we don't. Because the next manager comes in 18 months, Jesus, we're right back to where Pep was in 2017. Because you're going to have Aki at 31, KDB at 34, 35, Kovacic at 32, John Stones on 31, 32. Walker will be on 35. Grealish will be at 31.
Diaz will be knocking on the door at 30.
We'll be stuck there then, and we'll be going, oh crap, we walked right back into it again.
Mm-hmm. That's why I feel we need to let like one or two starters go this summer.
Who would you let go?
Definitely Walker and Bernardo. Nothing against Walker, but
Bernardo was great because I understand the fans who want him to go on a free transfer, but then they can't complain if we don't replace.
Yeah,
because
I just
Bernardo
feel like
Silva is a stonewall in our 11. If he stays, how do you get somebody to come in and replace? Because this was another thing. This was another thing I made a great point. Someone made a great point of it was James McAtee goes out. You can't replace him with a Kylian Mbappe. They're not at the same level in squad.
Yeah. No, I just feel like Bernardo has hit a wall in his career at City. You know, it's been like he's not going to improve any much more, and he's not been the creative player that kind of bought him to be the David Silva replacement, right? So I think there's just not much more to do for him at City. So I think it's the perfect time to go. Otherwise, his legacy will kind of go down from
I
here.
agree with you on that. There isn't such thing as staying too long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just that's just objectively, you know, obviously, if Pep wants him to stay, he most likely will stay for Pep's last season.
No,
so.
I get it. Right, Jason, thank you so much, mate, for joining us.
Yeah, appreciate it.
You making over? Are you going to pre-season at all?
No, I'll big up to all the Canadian fans here. I don't think I'll make it, but I'll be definitely tuning into you guys all summer.
Too easy, mate. Yeah, 100%.
Appreciate that. Really do. And thank you so much, Jason. Call again.
Yeah, enjoy off season, Pat.
Thank you for the support as well.
Take care.
Can I just say, big up Jason in the chat as well. Really, really good speakers, some great points, and that's what it's all about here in the Mancunian Ways. We want your channel, and I promise you we're going to do this once a month. So we weren't expecting the big news we got. We have closed the lines because we've been going for nearly 2 hours now, and it's 11:30. I need to go and start my caring duties again. But I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone. There is a Thursday night show coming up. where we'll get into it with the panel with Rich, and I think Rich's takes on this will be good, and Ozzy, etc. Pat, I think you're here Thursday night, mate.
No, I've got work. I'm back at
Oh,
work.
you're back at work on
Yeah.
Friday, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pat's back at work on Friday because he's had his month off. Tomorrow I am on Footy Judge Mo. I'm on LB show at 12. Then I'm on Footy Judge Mo at R2, where I will be going. I have spoke to Footy Judge Mo for anyone else. It's going to be a sensible panel. There's only going to be me and one other on there where we're going to talk sensibly. When it comes, listen, I'll go on any show for a bit of banter and a laugh. But when it comes to anything like this, I will only go on with certain people that I trust and I like. And I'm not doing it just to troll and be idiots, etc. Because when it comes to, listen, I'm no legally trained, but I will do my research and everything. But listen, I said a long time ago, and I will end the show on this, Manchester City fans and the club, we ain't taking the crap no more. We warned you all there was going to be a fight back. And you can all laugh with your Lance Armstrong and your 115s and blah, 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 blah. But listen, we ain't taking the shit no more. We're going to talk law, legal-wise, everything else. Don't come at us with, oh, Jeremy on Twitter said, don't care what 12-year-old Jeremy in his bedroom says, because he knows jack shit about it. Don't care what salty reporters say either, because they don't know about it. Because these salty reporters, like that Matt, whatever his name was earlier on, better be careful. The tirade he said tonight, yeah, may land him in a lot of trouble. City are watching. City have been watching. We've been behind the scenes in the long grass waiting to pounce. We've pounced. Listen, you wanna come after Manchester City? Great. You all thought we didn't have teeth. We've got teeth. And now we're going to show them. And you may not like the bite you get back. There we go. Anyway, Pat, anything you want to add before we go?
No, mate, I think anything I could have said was just mentioned by you. So, yeah, about time we show our teeth, and hopefully we can shut some people up who don't know any better. And, yeah, well, let's bring it on.
Oh, we are going to do something like that. Oh, yes, we've tried. The trouble is they don't want to come on. Because the people I speak to behind the scenes from Rivals are sensible. Your Dan Potts, who's coming on at some point. Jamie, the Liverpool fan, top guy, really sensible. These sensible fans. When I go on with like other people, they don't want to play that game because they don't know it. So that's why it's very hard to do. Salim again with the last super chat. You're a legend. Can you do a City Madrid combined 11? May do that during the summer. Yeah, I agree. I like that idea. We'll put that in the notepad. Thank you, Salim, for your support. Well done, Martin and Pat. Great show and great comments, banter in our chat. Thank you, Mark. You are a legend, and everyone who's been there. One thing I'd like you to do, give it a big smash on your way out. That thumbs up. We are now literally 45 away from 4. There has been over 1,300 of you on tonight, which is amazing. It's your channel. We're going to do this again. I love hearing you all. You are all amazing. Thank you for we had over 1,000 people on the space earlier on for the Mancunian way. Big up to you guys as well. Yeah. But take care. Have a great time. We'll be back Thursday. I'll see you tomorrow on numerous shows. And yeah, City, we're fighting back. And you may not like it. Take care, all.
See you later.